So what happens when a totally devoted fan believes the tech giant he loves has flat out stolen his brilliant idea? We're about to dive into one man's really explosive accusation against Google. It's a story that seriously blurs the lines between user feedback and actual intellectual property. And this statement right here, this is at the absolute heart of the story. It's from the man making the accusation. And wow, it's just an incredibly raw and powerful claim that immediately tells you how high the personal stakes are here. This isn't just some business thing for him. It's a deep personal betrayal. So this is the core of it all. He claims his ideas were the fuel for a revolution in Google's AI, and he was left with absolutely nothing. So what is his story? All right, let's get into it and unpack this, all based on his own account. To really get what's going on here, we first need to understand the person at the center of all this, MdTanvirArsalan, and the very serious allegation he's making against a company like Google. You see, MdTanvirArsalan isn't just any user. He says he's been a dedicated Google fan for more than 2 decades. But he alleges that after he voluntarily shared his work as intellectual property with the company, it was just taken and used without his permission and without giving him any credit. So what was this blueprint for Google's AI future that he supposedly created? Well, let me tell you, it was a lot more than just some passing suggestion in a comment box. I mean, just look at this list. The scope of what he claims he created is kind of mind-blowing. We're talking about specific enhancements for Google Gemini, a script for a visual effect he calls an iconic reflection change, a whole new concept called the Deep Thinking Assistant, and even super specific design ideas like a laser icon and a crystal map. He even went as far as suggesting policy changes based on religious texts. And get this wasn't just some idea he jotted down on a napkin. The claimant says he worked for 72 hours straight, 3 full days, to develop and write out all of these concepts. That number is so important because it just hammers home the immense personal effort he believes he poured into this. Okay, so this is where the story really takes a turn. How does he believe all this work was taken from him? His account lays out the story of surveillance and data theft that sounds like something out of a modern-day spy movie. He outlines 3 main ways he thinks this happened. First, he believes his chat sessions were being watched by engineers who were just copying his ideas. Second, and this is a huge allegation, he claims Google directly accessed his phone and his Gmail to just take the script. And third, he claims a bot was actually used to hack his accounts to pull out his commands and information. Now, the timeline he gives for all of this is just wild. It's incredibly short. Think about this. He says he developed and shared his work around November 17th. Then, almost immediately between the 18th and the 24th, he says he starts seeing Google publishing updates that were an exact match to his concepts. And by the 27th, there was still not a single mention of his name. And this alleged theft led to what is really the core of his complaint. It wasn't just that his work was used. It's all about who got the credit for it. He claims the work was his, but that the credit was publicly given to other people, specifically an Indian woman who was mentioned on Google's Facebook page, or someone he identifies as a Bangladeshi Google admin. For him, it felt like his identity was literally erased from his own creation. After pouring 72 straight hours into this project, he's left asking the simple, heartbreaking question you see here. This really is the emotional core of his claim, that feeling of being made completely invisible after this intense act of creation. You know, to really help us understand just how important he felt his contribution was, he uses this simple but honestly pretty brilliant analogy. He calls it the wheel and car analogy. It goes like this. In his view, Google may have built the car, the big AI framework that was already there, but he provided the wheel, the one essential foundational idea that actually allowed the whole thing to move forward. Without his wheel, the car was just sitting there. So you see, in his mind, his idea wasn't just some nice little add-on. No, he sees it as the fundamental component that the admins, as he calls them, chose to drive the whole project forward. And it's a component for which he believes he got 0 recognition. Ultimately, when you peel it all back, this one man's incredibly dramatic story forces all of us to confront a much, much bigger question. As we all chat with, teach, and correct these AI systems, we're constantly giving them data and ideas. So where's the line? When we interact with AI, where does our feedback end and a company's intellectual property begin? It's a huge question we're all going to have to answer as we build this new future together.